shit.
Yeah, go on. We're live anyway. So, everyone, welcome. Match reaction show. I have the victorious one here on my right. He must be still feeling quite sweet. I have the slightly angry one down here because obviously he's a Geordie and he's a Castle fan. So, but we'll start with the happy one. Tony. Not often you get a result down Arsenal, is it?
No, not at all, mate. I was very surprised. Like I said, I put it down as 2-2. I didn't expect us to actually get the score like we did. And I was more, I suppose, disappointed in Arsenal, really, because
that's something your dad says. I'm disappointed in you.
Exactly. Because it's one of those, isn't it? When you look at last season, what they were, this season, they're not as good as what they were last season. And they're at home. It's their home ground. You expect more.
Well, I did say 2-1 to you guys, didn't I? Because I came in because I was on the way home, and I came in and I said you lot would bully Arsenal on the pitch, and I was spot on. I didn't even have to watch that game to know what was going to happen because I know David Moyes. He's the one manager in the whole of the Premier League we've all watched enough where you know what he's going to do in a situation like that. He's going to make West Ham tough, hard to beat, and you probably played on the counter a little bit, which you probably did. Actually.
Definitely.
So I could smell it coming.
Man for man, though. Man for man. Man for man.
With a better side. Oh, big up, Steph. How you doing, mate? Hello. You're right.
Big up, Stephanie.
Yeah. So just give me your match reaction because obviously we asked you on Tony and you said more about be shameless and all that. But I'm going to ask you. Give me an honest appraisal on how you think Moyes got this today.
Yeah, I think he actually got the tactics spot on. I mean, like you said, we normally break teams down on the counter, but the fact that we did it in our own, at the edge of the 18-yard box and still managed to play it out. And Arsenal, I think I said earlier on, when you watched Arsenal, too much Tekka's football going on. Tippy tappy, pass, back heel flicks, pass.
Yeah.
There was nothing, and it showed you. I think there was one stat throughout the game. I think they had 15 shots, and out of that, only 3 were on target. So that kind of really summed up where Arsenal were. And I think if we left them in there now, they still won't be scoring.
I agree.
So that kind of sums it up. Right. And that's us being in the change room, by the way. They could still be out there on their own, and they still want to score. That's how bad they were.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They were so disconnect in the final third for me. They could not link that ball up to the front of the pitch for any more than a few seconds.
No, exactly.
Well, to be honest, I just think, right, one thing, I wasn't joking what I just said. You might as well say in a way we're following the conversation on. But in a way, I wasn't surprised. Here you go, Strasbourg Steve. Oh, no, I do have him in a minute. Big up, Steve-O. Welcome to my channel, brother.
Oh, you did?
2 debuts. This Steve-O and obviously Tony over on this side as well. But thank you both for coming onto my channel, by the way. Subscribe to there. Respect the channels, please. And Steve-O, right? This guy, this is the one person here I would actually say that I could actually sit and talk world football with, and he would know what I mean. If I say Benjamin Sisko, right, I'll be laughing. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yes, the wing back, yes.
No, he's a striker. He's a striker.
Oh, sorry, I think it's Salzburg. Sorry.
Yeah. What do you think of Nicholas Seawald? You know who I'm talking about? The Austrian.
No.
At Leipzig.
Yes.
He's good, but he needs more minutes at Leipzig for me because they're playing kind of a 4-4-2 now. But I know you.
I'll have because obviously you're a Newcastle fan as well, so I'll tag you when I tag Andy about this. So
cool.
I'm gonna come on to you, just Tony again. Do you think, as you said, you were disappointed in Arsenal? A West Ham fan saying he's disappointed in Arsenal, mind you. But take that in for a second. Right, what do you think from what you've seen? Because obviously you're a more experienced football fan, you're an older football fan. Compared to Arsenal teams previously, what do you see as the problem with this Arsenal team? You said about the flicks and the tricks. Is that the problem? They're just trying to be too good or too flashy?
There is that to it, and also it's the strength and depth in their squad. They haven't got it. That's the biggest problem. You can see that on the bench today, what they brought on. Nelson came on, wasn't creative enough. He tried too hard. You had Nketiah coming on, again, trying too hard. The only one that shone out for me in that is Smith Rowe. But other than that, there was nothing on the bench for Arsenal.
There's nobody knowing that their position. If Odegaard's fit, he knows he plays.
Exactly.
I get that. Yeah,
exactly.
Saka's in the same position. You need more competition.
Yeah.
Well, is it complacent? Are we talking about complacency then? This squad has
because you do. You get complacent.
Yeah, because not being funny, as a manager and that, you're supposed to G up the players and you work them hard in training so they fight for their places. But I agree with Andy's comment there. At the end of the day, and it's like with Sunday football, you've got the same players playing week in, week out. They get too comfortable because they know at the end of the day, I can turn up on Sunday, there's a shirt, I'm on the pitch. And Arsenal players are in that similar mould. But then you've got to look down at the manager for that. It needs to kind of rough them up a little bit.
I've always said it. Sorry, mate, to interrupt you, but I've been part of a team environment playing pool, and you'll have your teammates sitting next to you, and you know you're over the moon for the person if they come in on the pitch for you or come in for a game for you, and they do well. You're over the moon for them at that moment, but you're always in the back of your mind, I want to get in this team. You know, I'm happy. So when you've got someone pushing you like that, it gets the best out of you. And I don't think Arsenal's got enough of that. There's not enough Reece Nelson's coming in and getting goals. Yes, he's had a couple of flashy moments, but he's not really shown a period of time where he's going to push to get Martinelli's place.
Well, can I ask you a question? Do you think that's Arteta's fault again because he hasn't given these boys enough minutes? Because it's literally been the same guys week in, week out. Because that affects the player as well. If you're not getting any minutes, you've got no confidence. You don't believe in yourself. You're not. And to be honest, let's face it, some of Arsenal's bench players, they are openly hated by their own fans.
Yes, because it's naive at times, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's so naive at times that they've been in for so long, they just do the same thing over and over and over again. If you can sit deep enough to stop them from cutting the lines of your midfield and your defence, then they're going to keep doing it. But they wear teams down. That's where they get lucky. They're very fit. They wear teams down. And eventually, because players are tired, they make mistakes. And that's where Arsenal get their luck. Because they still play quick football later on in the game. But for me, they are nowhere near managed pushing Liverpool or Man City.
Yeah. Well, in that case, let me flip to Steve, because Steve's seen a lot of worldwide football like I have, right? I want to ask you, Steve, because you're like me. You're like a professor of the game, so to speak, because you like to really get into it. Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot, bro. I can't not put you on the spot. It's the first time here, bro.
Made for this.
Yeah, come on. Right, let me ask you a question, guys. What do you see as the problems at Arsenal?
I think the manager is not the caliber of an Arsenal manager. Could he be a Real Betis manager? Yes. Real Sociedad? Yes. Villa? West Ham? Somewhere like that? A decent-sized club. A club that gets into Europe, but not with the spotlight. Because the craziest thing was tonight was the subs being so late. So late. He is a reactive manager, not a proactive one, right? Pep Guardiola, Ancelotti, Mourinho, these kind of guys, when they see something isn't going right, they don't wait until to go 2-0 down to make subs. And if they do, that's a very rare occasion.
Just to back up your point there, Steve, would you be thinking something on the lines of, as soon as Paquetá went off, West Ham's lost a good creative spark in their side. Could you take a holding midfielder off and put another attacker on? Could you put an Nketiah on, take Odegaard off? Because Odegaard wasn't getting in the game for me. He was good on the ball, but he wasn't getting into the game. He was brilliant in their box at times, but there was no penetration come from Arsenal. You needed legs. You could have went a little bit aggressive there if you were being proactive. So I totally agree with what you're saying there.
For me, he's done a good job up to the point, but I don't think he's the guy to bring them a title or anything. I just don't. He's not experienced enough. I don't think he needs to go to another league to see how to tactically get some new ideas because it's just not working when. And then especially the fact that they changed it up from last year, they're a bit more just aggressive, more confident on the ball. I know teams are trying to, they're paying them more respect, and Arsenal came out of nowhere last year and started scoring goals for fun. Teams didn't really see it coming necessarily, but look, that's what. And their squad also. The squad for me is not it's nowhere near strong enough, nowhere near, because with Houston and Ketty, it's like 15 goals. You need a striker that'll get you 15 or 20, and then a backup that can get you 10 for the other competitions, all over, etc. And Odegaard for me is just, when you ask something of him, can you deliver in this pressure moment? We have to win this game. Make something happen. Does he? 9 times out of 10, no.
Or there's a big event that happens in the game, and the attention from his team's performance is taken away by his actions off the pitch, i.e. his comments after the Newcastle game, which we can all sympathise with Arsenal fans at that point. If that would have been shown the other foot, Newcastle would be sitting arguing, saying, well, was everything set? But there was no evidence to say that any of the officials made an error that day. So a bit like today for Arsenal, yes, common sense may tell you that the balls went out, but the thing that's there to help the referee has failed the referee. So therefore, you can't say that, that favours went for Arsenal.
Yeah, but did the referee fail, though? Because all evidence suggests that in the Newcastle game and tonight's game, the ball didn't go out.
Exactly. That's my point.
So I'm
You're
not being
screwed. You are screwed.
I kicked off about that.
Well, the thing is, Arsenal fans use that as the big excuse. And I'm sorry, Andy, I'll let you finish. But
no, go on.
When you watch the Newcastle game in that particular instance, every single Arsenal player stops. I've been at under 10s matches where the players have done that, and the coach has gone, "Move, boys, move!" Why
do not stop? Play to the whistle.
Play to the whistle. Yeah, you play to the
every
whistle.
single sport.
Every
single
Thank
sport.
you, Tony. Play to the whistle. So, I don't want to get
even more so now with the offside rule.
Yeah.
You never know. Everyone else could turn the back and the player just roll one in, and then they'll check it. It doesn't happen that often, but you will see 4 or 5 occasions within a season where a wild one happens. Like John Joe Shelby's against Sheffield United a couple of seasons ago. One where the rest of the pitch just stops. John Joe Shelby scrolls up the goal, scores. Happen all the time.
So
you are fundamentally, a team sport. You are fundamentally screwed, and I mean screwed. If you do nothing and then let the ref make a decision, you are screwed, because human beings make errors.
Yep.
So if Arsenal played better today and they were already up 1-0, and then maybe you could, I don't have sympathy for nothing, because the Premier League refs are just that bad. I tend to think they make it dramatized on purpose. I think
you totally do get the impression sometimes that they've done it on purpose.
No, some of the stuff is so stupid that it is. It just is. It's hidden in plain sight for me. So look, every team gets screwed by bad ref decisions. Every single team.
It does, yes. I mean, every team gets them. I mean, Wolves have been. They've had some bad luck this season. Off the top of my head, I remember the penalty against us. They had one the weekend before that, exactly the same. There was the ones against Burnley, was it, where the header? They've had some bad luck.
What? They're putting up wins on the board, though. They're in good form. They don't let that victim mentality make an excuse for failing. That's what.
And in my opinion, their managers managed that well.
Yeah, and Arteta, he's you can rattle him too easily. Sports are all about psychology too. Yeah, physically you can have all the tools. You can be an amazing player, but if mentally you are susceptible and your opponents exploit that, that's half the battle done. And for me with Arsenal, it's just always excuses, always something that, and it's like, how about you take some self-reflection? I'm sure they do that behind closed doors. I don't really rate Arteta highly. He's a good manager, but I still would think that, inwardly behind closed doors, he is saying we need to do this and this. But the public perception is everything too. That's everything. You don't see Unai Emery Unai Emery never whinges about ref decisions, ever. And guess what? They rarely get screwed by VAR, rarely.
I mean, how often have you seen Gary O'Neill lose it, considering, if you put it into perspective of Arteta's actions? Eddie Howe after PSG, I thought Eddie Howe helped
Exactly.
manage that situation very, very well.
Mhm.
But I'm also getting a little bit frustrated with Eddie Howe that it's very manually, like every week. Same thing said, positivity for the team, positivity for the always looking on the bright side of this. It's very rare you see him any emotion go, right, well, the one time he did say with any emotion in the last few interviews was saying, well, maybe this season we can win the Carling Cup. In his pre-match interview before Chelsea. And do you know when sometimes you watch that and you go, oh, you have one of the moments go, oh, now that he said something like that.
Yeah, but Arsenal fans can say the same.
I'm not trying to be negative, but that's exactly what I thought when I watched it. I was like, oh, for the first time you're actually setting a target, saying, yes, we can do better this season, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, God, no. And unfortunately, the inevitable happened. We fell apart against Chelsea.
Yeah. Well, I'm not being funny. We've all done a degree of falling apart at one point or another, regardless whether it be West Ham, Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle.
Yes, we've all done it this season. Every team's done it this season. I just think we've done it a little bit more
Go
often.
on to Newcastle as a subject I'm sure as a whole in a minute. But one thing I will say, we discussed Arteta. Let's talk about David Moyes and West Ham. Now, Andy, Steve, right? You tell me. Okay, well, I'll start off with Andy because he was talking last. You tell me what you thought West Ham did right and what Moyes got right.
Everything that they did right, you could look at. If you wanted to show somebody what you mean, you could just play Everton's Moyes team when they were doing well, getting 5th position. Yeah. He had quality not in every single position, but in very important positions. He had quality. Gareth Barry's of the world, Jelic, Lukaku,
Arteta.
If he can get a spine of a team, you know what Moyes is about. He can get a 1-goal lead and hang on to it. Everton were always winning 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. And they showed that today. The fact that his ideas are definitely passing over to West Ham is positive for them. They've won a European title. I've always rated Moyes. I actually remember being on a stream with Stephen before we appointed Eddie Howe, saying it was months before the takeover that I would have taken Moyes over Bruce at that time. And I just think he's got a massive fan base now. It's a step up for him, and I think he's starting to show that he can take the next step with the team. Given the backing he's getting back, he was questioned last season. Now he's had a season with Moyes. He's starting to show his best form. So positive. If they can get another striker in West Ham, I think they're a problem.
Yeah, that's what we definitely need, Andy. We
All right,
a striker.
So hang on, Tony. On that, before and I'll come to Steve-O, what do you think the potential of this team is? Do you think top 4 isn't a joke?
I think they can push for a top 4 place to get a striker.
Yeah, definitely.
This league isn't exactly strong, so yeah.
I said the same thing.
I honestly think everyone's
beatable, Steve, aren't they, at the moment? Everyone's beatable. Everyone's beating each other at the moment. That's the thing about this.
All right. Well, then, Tone, go on then. Humour me. What do you actually think is the target for Moyes this year, or what should it be, in your opinion?
Well, put it this way, at the moment, yeah, considering last season we finished 14th, it's a massive improvement already. Yeah, so we can stay in that. If we can stay in that top half, and then 6th to 4th position, even 3rd, not being funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it all day long. And to get to the Europa, final as well. That's the other target as well, because at the end of the day, we are literally knocking on the door for the Champions League.
The double's on, folks.
I'm trying to figure out for West Ham, for Brighton, what's the easier route to if you want to play Champions League next year? Is it top 4 or is it the Europa League? Because that's not an easy tournament to win by any means.
No, but you would say
the top 4. What?
They got a good chance of winning Europa League, though.
You do?
Think about it.
Yeah.
They got a good chance.
Well, we've got
You've
the
also
experience
got
from
to
last
look at it.
season. Obviously, that helps us out tremendously. Winning what we did last season, that was a great achievement
Yeah,
in
it gives you the
itself. So
confidence.
Yeah.
we're now carrying that into this season as well, and you're seeing that. And not being funny, even at that point in the Europa League's games we've been playing recently, we've not been great, but we've still managed to get results out of them. So that in itself tells you the caliber where the team stands compared to last season. So it's a massive improvement.
And you can
Besides
beat
that-
big teams.
Besides
lot
the
of-
slip up away to Olympiacos, that was really it. You did
Exactly.
your job. Other
Exactly.
game.
That's it.
Well, I was just thinking, in the Europa League, who are you going to really face that you wouldn't have been faced in maybe the Conference League anyway? Because you faced teams like Lazio in the Conference League, didn't you? So,
No.
like,
No,
and you beat
Roma.
them, didn't you?
Roma, we had Roma and that.
Oh, yeah, you had Roma as well.
Fiorentina in the
Florentino, yes, Florentina, that was the other one.
Fiorentina,
Sorry, thank you,
mhm.
yeah. It was in the final, wasn't it?
Surely the objective box ticks list is being ticked this season. You're a team that's just won the Europa Conference League. What's the next step?
Yeah.
Try and get into the top four. So you're on set for that for the league position. You're on set for that because you're still in the European competition that you've entered to potentially qualify for the Champions League. So, if West Ham went out, are you out FA Cup already? No.
FA Cup.
It's still in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
They're still within 3 chances of getting Champions League football, depending on a league position and a good cup run. So
exactly. Yeah,
every objective box is getting ticked at the minute with Moyes, in my opinion.
Yeah,
exactly.
I would agree. If I was a Hammers fan, I'd just be like, more of the same, please.
But we know we've got certain West Ham fans that want Moyes out, though. That's the only the thing.
Yeah, the style of football. Yeah,
I can understand that side of things, but don't get me wrong, Wolfie. I mean, blimey, it's 10 times better than watching Pellegrini when he managed West Ham. I mean, that you had more fun watching paint dry on the wall.
Yeah.
He's had the longevity and he's left back as
Sorry,
well.
Andy?
Was it that bad?
Oh, mate. I had a season ticket and I watched that, and all of a sudden I said to my, when the season finished, I said, "That's it. I'm not renewing my ticket until he goes someone else in." It was, considering what he did with City and that, and then he came to us, and literally from the back to the midfield, fine, no problems at all. Once you win that, as the final third on the pitch,
good.
No, it just came back.
No, but
Moyes came back to the sides. Came back to the side. At least with Moyes, we had a bit more creativity going on.
Direct.
Pellegrini, wow.
He signed good players, Moisey. He signed really good players.
Alvarez.
Well, that's also do. Don't forget, that's not just Moisey. That's Tim Steadton. That's where the recruitment.
I like West Ham squad at the minute. I'm not gonna lie.
Bourne's been a great signing when you think of the money. I mean, pound for pound, how good of a signing's Bourne been?
Oh mate.
Oh yeah, he's class in it.
Any team would love to have him in their side.
Like Bowen a lot.
I'll take him in Newcastle ahead of Miguel.
You know what I mean?
You've got him because he can hit it with both feet. He does what Miggy does well as well. So, and he does it with 2 feet, and he's a threat in the box with his head. I think he takes more boxes. Definitely.
He's clutch. He's clutch too. How many game-winning goals he scored for West Ham and all
that?
Some of the goals he scored this season, the goal outside of the boot, I think he was 3-1 down or something, and he's bent one, or 3-0 down, he's bent one, top corner, Man City maybe. What's a good goal? He's getting one to the byline, cutting it in. He's got everything in his lockup, and he can link up play well. I think he's pushing Saka for England. I think
should do, but as we know, with old Southgate, that's where we limit.
Areola was awesome tonight, by the way.
He was on top. I agree on that, Steve. Yeah, definitely.
My God. He was awesome. So for me, he should be your starter, just all throughout. I like Łukasz Fabianski, but Areola is a lot better.
Yeah,
a lot better.
Commands his box better for me.
He's proved himself, and that's the main thing. He did that last season in the cup games. He's proved himself, so he deserved to be, our number one there. I know Fabianski didn't like it, but you got to think to yourself, hold on, you had the opportunity last season.
Yep.
So take age into a factor.
Well, hang on. Well, let me flip this now. Right. What's your opinion on Newcastle, Tone? Where do you think it's gone wrong for them?
Injuries, I'd say, is the main thing. It's the biggest killer. For any team to have injuries in there. what do you replace it with? You know, it's one of those. I love Newcastle. I think they're a great team. The supporters, you know, and the stadium itself, and that are out of this world. But when you've got injuries like, you know, you've virtually got a team out, haven't you? That's the thing. And
more or less.
that's hard to kind of, for a manager, you think to yourself, right, this, you know, especially you think pre-season, you buy these players in, great, this is what I've got and I got, we can push on for this. Then you see the injuries mounting up. You can't get anyone else in at this stage. You're looking at your reserve squad, you're looking at what's coming in from the youth. Can they do the job? No, they can't. I'm stuck with what I've got. So we've got to try and manage and do what we can. And unfortunately, we're seeing what's happening to them at the moment. But I think once they get the players back, it'll come around again. You know, it'll better. And I don't know. You two at the bottom can tell me this. I mean, you know, are they looking to buy anyone in the January window?
Apparently, we're after. Sorry, go on, Steve. I'll let you go. Sorry.
I was just gonna say about the injuries. I get that, but at the same time, we could have. Okay, if I told you that we would all have all these injuries, still doesn't excuse 19th best away form in the league.
Yeah.
I agree.
That is honking. That is the thing that's the biggest concern for me, because even if we just turn in some of those losses into just draws, but then again, in the away games this year, we've been thoroughly outplayed in quite a few. Everton, Luton.
In the transition, mate, away from home, we are so susceptible. So susceptible.
Yeah.
As soon as the ball gets, as soon as Bruno Guimaraes gets turned around, our midfield panic massively. When we haven't got Joe Linton in the side, especially, as soon as Bruno's our pace setter, so he sets the press, and if he gets turned, everyone else has to back up because they know they've lost the press. And as soon as we get turned around like that, we are in massive problems when the ball gets out wide, because Trippier's normally caught high up the pitch thinking that we're going to keep possession.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunately, he's not Kyle Walker. He's not capable of getting back like he can.
The pace.
And I think that he's been so unlucky that all the times he's been caught out in such a storm.
Yeah.
He's been so unlucky. You know, there's no way I'm not trying to nail Trippier. He's been one of the catalysts for the Newcastle's fortunes.
Yeah.
But by God, we have got a weakness on that side. Without a Tonali with that quality, we are really missing that now. And we're depending too much creativity on Bruno. How many times have you seen Bruno hit a ball 20 yards outside the box and sky it? Or the one time he does hit it well, the keeper saves it, and you're like, oh, for God's sakes. Again, if that's a James Maddison, that's goal. A couple of times we've said this. That's even a Kulusevski at Tottenham on his left. You back him on them. Few players, if he can improve that, we've needed that this season. We needed the goals that he gave us when he first came to the club. When we did, you know, but we haven't been able to get it as a side because we've had no consistency in the team because there's constant injuries every week.
Yeah.
Well,
and you've got to start the question why.
Well, all right. Well, as the injuries have stacked in January, do you think you guys should spend and cure the problem in terms of buy better depth, or do you want to wait for everyone else to get fit again and just literally? Because as the Newcastle fans, how would you two sort it out? Like,
yeah, need to.
Let Steve speak first. Go on.
Yeah. 1000% we need to, because look at everyone is suffering with injuries. So actually, this is one of those years where you could have a bloated squad and it actually will even out because everyone is getting injured. Brighton, Brentford, Spurs,
Chelsea.
United, Chelsea. I could go on and on. I think Fulham have had some big injuries as well. You've had, everyone is getting battered with these injuries. So this is one of those years, and especially because I want to go on a cup run. I have to go on a cup run this year. Like, that Sunderland game is everything for me.
Big up Uncle Rods.
Big up Uncle Rods every time.
Right.
But for me, this is one of those years where you could probably get away with having a bloated squad because everybody's just dropping like fucking flies. So it's like, you kind of need that in reserve. To be honest, go loan in a few of the players from Saudi Pro League. I don't give a fuck. Use that.
Wait, hang on. So why do you think all of our squads have been getting injured, But the gentleman's here, like he just said, they've only got a couple of injuries. Is there a fitness problem? Is there a coaching problem?
Style
Is
of play,
just
possibly.
games?
Style of
Possibly.
play, possibly. Maybe. I mean, we cover a fuckload of ground. We press aggressively. They're playing Europe though, so that's the thing that I can't even definitively say that it's the play style, because West Ham are playing in Europe as well and won their group and are going to be playing more European games. And you guys just also exited the same stage of the Carabao Cup as us. So, and then at the FA Cup, you guys got Bristol City at home. They're doing all right in the championship. I figure you probably win that. So you're going to be playing more games in the Europa and the FA Cup. And you've had, 2 injuries, Agad and Antonio. So
and tonight,
I got no clue with the injuries. Maybe it's a training thing, a medical staff thing. But look, we got to get bodies in January, because the injuries thing is just like, to a certain point, I get it, but here's my biggest pet peeve. Some of our fans will predict these crazy wins. Oh, we're gonna smack up Everton 3-0, smack up Luton 4-0. We're gonna beat Spurs away. We're gonna, Bournemouth are shite. We're gonna beat them after we played like crap against Dortmund away. And then we lose, and then those same fans who thought we were gonna batter all these teams, saying injuries. It's like, what I do is I just predict off of the circumstances and just what I think, so that I don't have this whole, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy for me. It's crazy. Why would you predict a battering if we have an injured squad?
Why did I think you were responding to all of my predictions for the last 3 weeks, Steve, in that rant? Because I'm sure I've been guilty of saying that we were going to smash up Everton and we were going to beat Luton, and look what happened. And then I've just made comments there about injuries. So, yeah, thanks for that, man.
It's not a bad thing. I'm just aware of it. And it's just bias. We all have it for all our teams or players we like or whoever. Like, it is it's not a bad thing. I don't know. Maybe it's foresight or something. I don't know, bro. But like,
we've been very lucky though, because we've managed to get a right gem potentially.
Yeah,
because of this opportunity. We've got to thank the fortunate that came out of the bad situation, which is that we now have eyes on a top talent.
And the other good thing is, Andy, is that this is adversity. Let's see how they recover from it. I want to see, that's why I like having big draws. That's why I wanted the group of death. That's why I want to play Carabao and FA Cup games. I want to play in the big
up, brothers. New in the chat. Big up to yourself, bro.
Because I want my guys to be tested. I want to see what we're made of. It's one thing playing Sutton United in the FA Cup and winning 7-0 or whatever. I'd rather play a derby game. I'd rather play a Man City at home or whoever. I'd rather have these tough games, a group of death, because I want to see what the guys are made of.
It goes back to the Arsenal point before. Is it any surprise that Miggy Almiron's form's dropped since he's had no competition for his position? As soon as the competition's gone out of that place, him and Murphy were swapping goals for weeks.
Harvey Barnes as well.
Well, can I ask you a question? Is it more that you guys have become complacent? Because one thing about it is, right, you made the Arsenal comparison. Arsenal have been playing maybe at a higher level for a bit longer.
Yeah.
Hang on, 1 minute. Hang on. Big up, Unks. Add him to the stage.
What's going on, people? What's going on? Everybody good?
Up, Uncle Rods.
Big up, Unks. How you doing? Right,
yeah, man. I'll come and bless you up still because you're my G still. You know what I mean?
Thanks for that, Uncle. Big up to yourself, man. Big up to you. You know what? Actually, I've got a good question for Unks in a sec, actually. But let me just quickly go on, Steve. You were saying about the complacency. Go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna. Well, first of all, Rods, Jesus Christ, you guys are gonna smoke us on Monday. I'm not looking.
No, that's for the preview on Saturday. No. Don't interrupt the man.
I was just throwing it out. I was just throwing that out there.
I love his optimism, like.
I'll say, look. You never know. It's not a given.
When was the last time Newcastle won at Anfield?
Well, there's always a first. There's always a first.
That's true.
20 years.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I know it's a long time ago, but there's always like There's always a chance they can do it again.
Of course.
Nothing's a given. I don't take anything for given.
We've won in the cup recently, but I don't think we've won the league in Liverpool for a while. Since Kabay era, I think.
When
I think it's around about Kabay.
That's long. Hang on, was that when the ball was playing for you guys?
Probably.
When who?
The ball was he named the ball? The French guy.
No, you're talking about thingy. You're talking about Robert.
The French guy, man. He was their midfielder. He's good.
I know you talking. I know exactly what you talk about. He used to play for Benfica, or he played for Benfica after.
Diana.
You know the guy, the French guy. The French.
He'll come to me later. I'll be sitting there in the shower. So
You know
the last all right. You know the last time we won at Anfield, 1994, 2-0 win.
Oh wow!
Was that who was playing? Was
that in all competitions?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Cool.
Thought we had one in the cup.
Oh well.
I know you beat us at thing, didn't you? You beat us at St James Park lately, but I think.
No, they said at Anfield.
Yeah, I must be in the home.
He said at Anfield.
I must have been thinking of a home game.
Yeah.
We haven't played you guys in the cup the past 30 years.
But you never know. You never know what can happen.
Yeah.
Sure, I haven't played them in the Carling Cup.
No, I'm looking at I'm looking at all of it.
Well, hang on. I got to spin this on to Unks now because we mentioned Liverpool earlier. Now, where do you see this Liverpool team going now, Unks? Because there's a lot of people saying now that they're City's main rivals and all that. Give me the Liverpool take on this because you've always had the potential under Klopp to challenge, but you're never really consistent. So is this a year now when Klopp gets it right again and you guys are back, or do you guys still have too many holes to patch up yourselves?
Listen, I would.
Easy, Rodders, easy, mate. You're amongst friends, man. Easy, Rodders.
No. What I would say, listen. At the end of the day, how I put it is this: we're top of the league, right? Well, how we're looking at that is like when you're top of the league, you got hope. You got hope that you'll do well. You got hope that you get over the line. Do you know what I mean? At this stage of the season, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because remember, at the day we're just going to a new year, so you got hope. When it gets to March and April, I think that's when it comes belief that he can get over the line. Do you know what I'm saying? Where I see Liverpool going, listen, if we get top 4, if we get top 4, to me that's a bonus because you got to think about it. We've let go of 5 players, and brought in 4 new players, right? And they've had to sort of like learn on the job, as it were. They've had to learn on the job. So I think where we are now, top of the league in the day, you see, this is what people got to think about in the day. Getting rid of all these players and bringing in new players in the day, right? Usually in the day doesn't work out this well. Do you know what I mean? So where we are now at the top of the table, it's a bonus because at the end of the day, because of the players that we brought in and they're still learning. Now, at the end of the day, there's going to be games at the end of the day where we might draw or we might lose and we might look crap. But it's all like a transition stage. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're in transition. With sort of like Arsenal now, this is what I'm saying about Arsenal now, right? Where I don't want to be rude to Arsenal guys at the day, right? But I was trying to tell Tony this the other day. Yeah, have you got the bollocks? Have you got the bollocks to do it? Do you understand what I'm getting at? Because
of course,
who have they really added to their team at the end of the day, right? Yeah, this season, not really a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
We've actually changed the whole spine of our team. The spine of our team.
The engines, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we've gone up there. You know what I mean? How long we'll stay there? I don't know. I don't know how long we'll stay there. Hopefully it's for a long time. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. But Arsenal at the day, right? Arsenal not in transition. Arsenal is supposed to have the best midfielder at the day in the Premiership with Declan Rice at the day, right? But when they came to Anfield the other day, we should have won that game. Had we got that penalty, which we should have got. B at the day, right? If Trent put away his chance at the day, I don't know how you missed that, but he put away a chance. Do you know what I mean? We wrapped the game up, but that's history, and it's 1-1. I mean, but to hear these Arsenal guys, the way they were talking about what they're going to do to us when they come to Anfield, and it turned out like that. What it is with Arsenal lot, they talk too soon. And to me, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it might happen, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think they win the league with Arteta. Probably with some other manager, but they don't win the league with Arteta.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. But listen, the more victories we can get. Put it this way, ask me what I think at the day in March. Ask me again in March, and I'll tell you what I probably think in March.
Rod, do you know why you're in a far better position than Arsenal? Because number one, you've been there, done that, and number two, the league is weak. The league is weak. So if you're just less crap slightly than the others, because it's one of those cases where it looks like teams are just dropping points.
Like a Leicester year. You know when everyone was
bad. Weak or is it competitive team?
Exactly that Leicester.
I wouldn't say it's weak.
It's not.
I would.
It's just more open than it's ever been for the top 10.
Yeah, it's open, but that's because there's no one dominant force until Man City probably do.
Right. Can I just say, that's the reason why it is as weak. Because if I was to tell you, right, I don't know, 1993, that the same team had won the Premier League 6 in 7 years, you would say I was out of my mind.
Yeah.
Because even back then, you had teams like Leeds winning it, Blackburn, whatever. The problem is, it's the monopoly of football with the money, folks. That's why games have got. That's why, in a way now, the Premier League is no better than how La Liga was 10 years ago. You've got all the names, you've got all the stars, you've got all the trophies, you bring in all the money. Yeah, exactly. And you bring all the sponsors. That's why they want to franchise it. That's why Perez wanted to restart the Super League. He wants that Premier League money, and he knows he ain't getting it. So the only way he can do, let me dream up a way where I can get in the same league as Manchester United, whatever else on a regular basis, because they know that's where all the billionaires are, and that's where all the franchise money is. That's why they want the Super League so badly, particularly teams like Italy as well, because they're cash destroyed. Barcelona, right? I don't know how they've not been done by FFP. Because they breached they were so bad. They were signing players on loan, looking into signing for future deals of 90 million, and they somehow got away with it.
So where does the Premier League rank for you then, Murphy? In the most competitive leagues in Europe, where does it rank?
No, for me, second. It's always been second. And you know why I say? Because if you want to actually compare strength to league, then you have to look at European Cups.
Yeah.
Right. Real Madrid are the kings. That's it, right? They may not be the biggest club on the platform, but they are one of the most successful in the European Cup. And to be honest, if you're kicking the crap out of everyone in the European Cup, then you're beating everybody else anyway.
They got 40.
But then we could bring Man United into that equation and say, what good's their history doing them at the moment?
I hear what you're saying, Andy, but you can't, because they don't. When have Man United won 6 European Cups in a row, or 5, or 3? I can tell you when Real Madrid.
I get that, but when we look at teams going into later stages of the European leagues over the last 10 years, I guarantee England up there with Spain.
And that's crazy because they don't have that many winners.
I can understand what Will's saying.
I get his point commercially. We're worth more.
If you put in Will's context, you'll say Real Madrid first, AC Milan second, and Liverpool third, and then whoever comes, then I think it'll be something like Bayern Munich or something. Bayern Munich, Ajax, and then play, because these are teams that they are being consistent in Europe, and I've actually represented the country well. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I think at the end of the day, when it comes to the Premiership, when it comes to the Premiership, there's too much money involved in the Premiership. You know what I mean? And there's too many kind of situations at the day where these group of people that's got the biggest money allowed to do what they want, allowed to get what they want. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, and it just becomes at the day, it just becomes sort of not enjoyable after a while. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not enjoyable. Because I'm not being funny. If you take Chelsea at the end of the day, right? If Chelsea probably, if Chelsea probably had a manager at the end of the day, sort of that was better technically than Pochettino, yeah? Chelsea are probably winning everything. Do you know what I mean? More likely to be winning everything because it's not as if they ain't got the players. They've got the players
No,
to do it.
I disagree with that. It's just purely on the fact that they're all too young.
No, but what I'm trying to say, if a person, if you got,
They're trying to build something, aren't they?
yeah, but if you've got a man, if you've got a manager at the day that is very good at technical analysis, is very good technically in the day, right? He can organize that team into a team of winners. Do you know what I mean? You understand what I'm getting at? It's just
Yeah, and that
I
don't
know
happen
that you got young players and everything like that, right? But what they say about young players today, young players are hungry. They've got no fear because all they want to do is impress. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you get sort of like a manager at the end of the day, right? A manager at the day, sort of like that can get the best out of these young players at the day. You'll be cleaning up. Look at
The only manager that ever did that was not ever did that, but one of the managers that did that was Brian Clough. He just took players. You know what I mean? And you don't have managers like that now.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Clough took players with experience.
If you had a manager like
but he
that,
still made him into a team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
If you had a manager that sort of like technically at the end of the day, he can get the best out of the young players. Chelsea be cleaning up, right? One of the reasons at the day why it's sort of like Pep Guardiola at the day is clean up in some sort of way, right? Is the fact that the day, A, he's got the money, and B, he's allowed to do whatever he wants and get whoever he wants.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, he's good technically, and plus at the day, he's got all the money that he wants. So no wonder at the day that's sort of like, you know, Guardiola is clean up. But you tell Guardiola at the day, all right, go out there and build a team. Go out there and build a team from scratch.
Yeah. Well, they always need to buy somebody in to make it work. Whereas back in the day, they always used to just get a team. This is your players. You've got to create a team out of these players.
They'd still buy players. Like, I'm sure Nottingham Forest spent a good amount of money.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest is
they probably got promoted.
We haven't spent a lot.
When they got promoted,
you know what I'm talking about when you had Clough and all that.
No.
Yeah.
When they had Clough,
we only had Trevor Francis, $1 million.
No, Steve. When they first got successful, when they got promoted from the second division to the first, and I know this because I've done a lot of research, Brian Clough used 3 transfers, and they bought players like Mackay that was supposedly washed up and finished.
Yeah.
Trevor Francis and whatnot. I thought you were on about when you just come up. Sorry.
That is one thing Brian Clough can say that Pep Guardiola can't. I've built 2 clubs from scratch. What have you done?
Absolutely.
He did it from bottom leagues,
He did it with Derby, and then he did it with
Derby.
And
again,
did it with Derby as well. Did it with Derby.
Pep has
Let me just
to
reel back to what Steve-O said, though, because when you look at Steve-O said about obviously, like, you know, how the league is kind of basically not as good the standard. What you've all failed to realise is every single club in the transfer window bought players, and it's the most I think we've spent in a transfer window since the Premier League's been formed. So when you look at something like that, everyone has basically bettered themselves, and maybe that's the reason why the league is the standard it is. Plus the fact, if you look at it, it seems to be the remit is, right, this is the formation we're going to play, and they pass it on to the next team and the next team and the next team. And that's also why your football seems to be boring, because everyone's playing with one striker up top. You've got your inverted wingers, you've got your false 9, and it's a standardized thing.
Yeah.
So you don't see that kind of flair and creativity like you used to in that. And you've got players that have got that creativity, don't get me wrong, but it's just a boring kind of concept, because it's like that team does it, that team does it, this team does it, and all of a sudden it's like you could just predict a team. And Arsenal today, and not just today's game, but previous games, you know full well if the ball's played out to Saka and Martinelli, they're going to run down the wing and they're going to do 2 things. They're going to cut inside, or they're going to try and go outside and deliver the ball into the box. Standard.
Hence why Alan Saint-Maximin was so popular in the Premier League, I believe. You know, not because of his goals and his assists, just his moments, wasn't it? You can't pass. How the hell did he get out of that gap? How did you do that? But then how didn't you set up a goal afterwards? That was the problem with him.
That's the thing. And then obviously to add on to, like, the Guardiola thing, and that at the end of the day, and that, you've seen it with Mourinho. Yeah, money talks. We know that it builds what
No, but
clubs are.
Mourinho built.
You know.
Mourinho built Porto.
We created the
Mourinho
counter-attacking
did Porto, he
style
did
that
Porto.
everybody's using now.
Yeah, Mourinho did put Porto.
No, that's the one
Mourinho
thing
did
I will.
Porto.
I
Yeah,
will
Yeah,
give.
of course, exactly.
I will give that up to Mourinho above, because one thing about Pep, he's walked up. He's never managed what people would consider a smaller team
Yeah.
ever. Bayern
No,
Munich,
no.
Bayern Munich, Man City, and Barcelona have all been the biggest. Because one thing about it is, this is the one thing I will give Mourinho. He brought Porto up with 2 league titles, a Europa League, then
Champions League. No, but one,
Mourinho's probably the closest to
that's
club
one
that I've
thing
seen.
that's one thing I rate at the end of the day about when I read about Mourinho at the day, right? At the end of the day, that's how he made his bones, and that's how he got to get that job at Chelsea. Because what he done at Porto at the end of the day, where he took Porto from really.
We didn't know who Benny McCarthy was until we watched Porto, bruv. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Deco, all them man there.
oh, what a baller. Deco, oh my
But
days.
you've seen
Paulo Carvalho,
Mourinho is the closest to club that you've seen.
Yeah.
Robin.
Look at Porto, Nate. In Portugal, right? In Portugal, the best team in Portugal was Benfica. Until Mourinho
that's true.
Until Mourinho come. And Mourinho come and turned it upside down and that. And then it was Porto was the best team, yeah? Since Mourinho's left Porto, right, yeah? Porto, all they've won really at the day is like the Portuguese league. They ain't really gone on a mad one. Because remember the day, right? Mourinho won the Portuguese league, Portuguese Cup, UEFA Cup, and then he won the Champions League. You know what I mean? And he built that team from scratch. That's one thing at the day that Pep Guardiola can't do. Because when he went to Bayern Munich, he went to Bayern Munich and sort of like Bayern Munich had just come off the treble, just winning the treble. You know what I mean? Champions League, their league, and the cup.
Just want to ask something.
Do you know what I mean?
What's up, Yets?
Newcastle fans, do you want Chris Woods back?
No.
No. No, thanks. No, thank you.
What was that?
One visit's enough for a season, thank you. I don't fancy another hat-trick.
Honestly, he was amazing the other day.
Yeah, he was.
I was ripping him to pieces all the time before that
Mate, Dan Burn made him
look.
look like Messi for a moment, unfortunately.
Like Benzema, man.
And Dubravka didn't do him any favours either, rushing out. But
Steve-O, help me out here. You know world football still. Hang on, you know, on that Mourinho thing quickly, right? Regardless of Pep managing Spain and whatever, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't all the records in Spain for most wins, most goals in the season, all that? There's still Mourinho's Madrid, right?
Yeah.
And somehow he plays boring football.
Wait, hang on. Wait, so even though Pep's considered the best, he's still managed in leagues where no matter where you look, still to this day, because even Mourinho's Chelsea, even though I think our goal record got beat, or did it by Ancelotti? I'm not sure or not, but I know for a fact in terms of goals conceded, Jose Mourinho's Chelsea is still the best team defensively ever in the Premier League.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm not
1-0 shut up shop.
Something
Park the
15.
bus.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, he didn't actually park the bus. I actually like what Mourinho says about that.
He did.
He says, "I got that reputation of parking the bus when I scored the most goals in La Liga history."
Yeah.
He did, Paul.
Mourinho, what he does is he's a pragmatist. If he has a squad like he does at Roma, where it's like you have Dybala, Lukaku, Pellegrini's a decent player, Spinazzola as well, a bit injury prone, some like okay players here and there. And then you have Cristante, who's an Italian McTominay. You have Mancini, who is aggressive and probably mentally ill with how crazy he is. Psychotic, dude. Gianluca Mancini is psychotic. That guy is he doesn't know what fucking day it is. You have those kind of players. You have Diego Llorente on loan from Leeds, and you have Smalling, and you have Rui Patricio. It's not a great squad. So what do? You sit back, then you absorb and you play to Dybala and Lukaku's strengths. That's what it is. You have Zaluski. So, but if a Mourinho went to a Newcastle and was like, you can pick the squad, we're not playing boring football. In certain games, yes, to get results in Europe or FA Cup or whatever, yeah, Mourinho would park the bus. But if you give him money, Did Porto play ugly football? I don't think so.
Nah,
not after a while,
Mourinho
no.
played some great football for Chelsea.
Yeah. Chelsea
Played
played
some awesome
under
football.
Mourinho.
Bro, in Mourinho's first season at Chelsea, I lost track of the amount of teams we demolished 4-1, and that includes Newcastle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, played some great football.
So,
Look at his record for Man United was even decent. They won 2 trophies under him and finished second in the league. They were keeping pace. They weren't
that squad
narrowing the gap, but they were keeping pace.
It was a bad squad.
Yeah.
The
It wasn't
squad
bad.
is
The thing is that
terrible.
well, Man United, when you look at Man United, they haven't done better than what Mourinho's done.
No?
Mm.
No,
They
also,
haven't done better than
The thing
they
is
haven't better than.
we had
He
this
won the League
conversation.
Cup, and he won the League Cup.
And
He
a
won the
Europa.
UEFA Cup. You know what I mean?
I-
Come second. Their manager and that's bettered what Mourinho's done. Do you know what I mean?
But
Mourinho's a good tactician. He's a very good tactician.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely,
100%.
yeah.
100%.
you remember when me and you were speaking about this in the Football's Dead conversation a couple of weeks ago? And we said about, because obviously you were there for that one when we were talking with Naz and whatever else. And I think it was either Fuzzy said about how Fergie was the authority figure at Man United and how he kept everyone else in line regardless of who they were, and I echoed that sentiment. And I said, yeah, that's true. That's why they bring in a Mourinho, because he's the only one that can stamp his authority down. And you've seen the decline of it since. Because let's be honest, right? I have to say, right, when you think of what the coaches Man United have had, they've had some really good coaches. Louis van Gaal won in the FA Cup, then they sacked him.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, hang on a minute, what the fuck are you actually trying to achieve here? Because Mourinho got you to a points total. If it was any other Premier League season, you would have won the league, and he got you a cup double. What's the criteria for staying in the job?
Man United thought it was bigger than Mourinho, and that was where the issue was because they didn't actually.
Yeah, but Jadon Sancho's not bigger than Mourinho, and
exactly. 100%.
By the way,
that they was working.
By the way, you want to hear something crazy about Mourinho? In 2011-12, they scored 174 goals. Real Madrid did across 58 games. And in the next season, they scored 153 in the same amount of games. Dude scored 320 goals across 2 seasons. And he plays.
You know what his cardinal sin was? You know what his cardinal sin?
What?
And this is the reason why that Real Madrid got him in. Yeah, Real Madrid don't give a shit about the league. Don't give a shit about the Spanish Cup. They don't give a shit about how many goals you score in the league. Yeah, right. What they do is they give a shit about the European Cup. If you cannot win the European Cup, you're gone. Simple, you're gone. Do you know what I mean? Look at what they've done to Zidane. Zidane at the day won the cup at the day.
3 Champions Leagues in a row, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3 times on a bounce. But the season that he didn't win the cup, he was gone.
Yeah,
he was gone. And he came back and that didn't
they
win.
Won it again.
He was gone. All Real Madrid give a shit about is the European Cup. They don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
And I do respect at the day the opponent's tally at the day that sort of like Mourinho done because it's impressive. But I'm not Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? Real Madrid do not care about all that. I'm telling you, they don't care about all that. All they care about, can you bring us at the day the European Cup? Because they saw what he done previously at Inter Milan, where he won the treble.
Was that a boring team to watch?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. They saw what he did and everything that. So they said, like, you know what? We want some of that. We want this. We want the Champions League back again. The only way you're gonna stay in the job at Real Madrid, and if you win the Champions League, really and truly win the Champions League. If you don't, then right, your job's on the threat. Simple as that. Your job's on the threat.
When they had the Galacticos early 2000s, they were going through managers like crazy. Crazy. Spanish dude.
Yeah, Bertucci won the league and they still sacked him.
Yeah, they won. Exactly.
They literally don't care about that. Seriously, I'll tell you what, and I think that, yeah. You know what I mean? If Ancelotti does not win the Champions League this season, he won't have a job next season at Real Madrid. He's gone. All they care about at the end of the day is clocking up those European Cups so they can stay.
Yeah, 100%.
You think maybe that's why Man City's struggling this season?
Oh yeah.
Maybe they're prioritising the Champions League.
Could be.
Haaland's been dropped for Premier League games. He's not been dropped for Champions League games when he's been available.
Yeah, that's true.
De Bruyne.
You're right. De Bruyne, no. City.
I've not known Haaland drop for a Champions League game when he's been available. He's been fit for a Champions League game. He's played.
Yeah.
I hear you, but the thing is, with Haaland, even though he even can play crap, he can still score 2 goals, though. That's the thing about Haaland. He's got so many goals in him. You know what I mean? You kind of forgive him for missing 1 or 2 chances, put 2 or 3 of the others away. That's the thing. Because he gets so many. Because we're all scared of Haaland, because we know on his day, let's be realistic. That's a goal machine.
100%.
Be interesting to see what competition Kevin De Bruyne plays in when he's fit.
Yeah.
Because are you going to depend on him in the most important competition, or are you just going to let him get his fitness in a league that he knows a lot better in the Champions League, for example? So bring him into the league games, get him fit.
Foden and Alvarez as well.
They're brilliant, them too. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Pep will want to win everything. But one thing that's class about Pep, he wants to win everything. It's not just about I want both. Hang on. Let me ask you a question, because obviously he was the latest one to the panel. So we've asked everyone else's teams. Now that you guys have got a new manager, right? And you guys did do a very good battering of Newcastle, and it was a battering. Let's not dress it up. Chris Woods did have fun. It was like watching Eddie Nketiah at Palace again. What for you now with Nuno in charge? What is the aim again? Are you going back to what we were saying about top 10? Or
100%. But I mean, you can't get too far ahead of yourself. I mean, Newcastle, at the end of the day, Newcastle are an under-strength team, but we went there, and I'm not hearing that Newcastle weren't very good. I'm hearing that we was better. And at the end of the day, if we can carry it on like that against Manchester United at the City Ground, and we can get that kind of, if we do the City Ground and play in the same way and massacre Manchester United as well, then I know we're onto something, because that's the first away win that we've had this season. So, and we played with absolute passion. It was like a City Ground performance, to be honest. And if Nuno can get that out of us, and the guys can go along with it, which it looks like they are doing, then I'm gonna be excited if we can beat Man United at weekend. I'm gonna be excited. I am gonna be excited, and then we can go on to the next one. And just keep building the team the way that it's going, and I am so excited for that, because that game on Saturday was just amazing, just awesome.
That's a good one. Who thinks Man United win that game? Because I don't.
I don't either. Well,
I think Forest win that game.
Yeah, I think it might be comfortable too. Man United have the 4th worst offense attack in the league, 4th worst.
I just think
away from home, they don't score goals. Can you do what West Ham did? Absolutely.
I think we've just got to concentrate and just be exactly the same way as we was against you. Yes, you missed a few chances. You got a penalty, which I thought was dodgy. But then when I watched it again, it was like, he does catch his leg. I think Isaac goes over after he's actually caught his leg, but he's a whatever.
Just as you're seeing that, they're showing a replay of the penalty. Sorry to interrupt you, mate. Yeah, they're literally showing it there, look.
Yeah, it was dodgy as hell.
Literally on the dot, as you said, the penalty, it actually went in. Sorry, I just thought that was a bit.
What? After that, we went. You know what? Okay, hold my beer, and and then we went for you.
I have a crazy stat about that game, by the way. That was your first win where you've conceded in the Premier League for about 30 years, where you've conceded the first goal away from home. I know you haven't been in the Premier League.
Wow.
It was what was it? Let me pull it up.
Guys, I'm just going to bounce out now. In 5.5 hours, I'm going to be up going to work. So it's been a pleasure being on the channel. Wolfie.
I'm going to wrap it up in a minute, Tony.
All the best, bud.
Thanks, mate. It's good to see you.
Take care, mate.
Steve, Andy, pleasure meeting you 3 guys. Yeti, Wolfie, as always. Great to be with you guys as always. And
thank you for coming, mate. I appreciate it.
No, it's good, mate. It's been good. And DJ Crane, look after yourself as well, mate.
You're going to sleep well tonight.
I might do, mate.
After that.
Fucking irons.
Good result, boy. Good result.
You know what I mean?
Well, put it this
Come
way,
on,
hang on.
lads.
His phone will be better tomorrow with all the messages.
Oi,
well-
early doors. Quick before you go, quick before
Yes,
you go.
mate.
My cousin used to play for West Ham, you know.
Which one?
Hmm?
Mitchell Thomas.
Mitchell? Yeah, I know
Oh,
Mitchell.
yeah, I
Thomas,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Second cousin.
Hang on. So Tony, shout your channel out, mate. It's been in the chat, but we're going to shout everyone's channels out now and wrap it up because
Sure.
I need to have a shower and go to work myself because I get up in a few hours.
You're working an hour and a half. Yeah.
It's as you see my name. It's Early Doors Football TV. Yeah, great result for us today, kind of thing. Hopefully we carry on for the rest of the season. But great community, great guys we talk to all the time, and as I always say, great people in the chat that always support us as well. So
God bless, bro. God bless.
And you as well, yeah. Thanks, Odds.
Steve, do you want to pick up your channel?
I'm bouncing out. Take it easy, everyone.
Peace out, Tony.
Take care, man.
What were you saying, Wolf? Sorry.
I said, you want to shout out your channel, mate? Because I need to go have a shower as well. I got to go work.
Okay, yeah. So you can find me. You can find me, Strasbourg Steve, on YouTube. I got a few watch alongs this weekend. Celtic Rangers. I got to make that one still. And then Lazio Frosinone, and then Sunday I might do one of the other games. I think it's it's only the 2 Premier League ones. I might do one of those.
Just a few.
Yeah, just a few.
Just a few.
But yeah, thanks for having me on, bro. Good seeing y'all. Good seeing y'all.
Man, nice to
Right time catch you, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
man.
making the debut.
100%.
Unks, do you want to pick up your channel?
Yes, man. Listen, my G, this man. Big up each and every time, and I want everybody to like and subscribe to Wolfgang's channel, please. Please do. He's an amazing guy, doing amazing work, man, and he's not toxic. He just tells it like it is. Do you know what I mean? Great guy. Do you know what I mean? So it's a pleasure being on your show, my friend. I'm with you tomorrow, ain't I? On
Saturday.
Is it Saturday?
Yeah, that's where I want the Liverpool-Newcastle beef to kick off. I was saving that, and I asked this one as well if he come on Saturday as well.
I'm all with that, man. Just depending on what my little one's doing.
No worries. Well, I did say to both of you.
I'm doing the game. I'm doing Chelsea coming down to Luton on Saturday. I'm actually going to be at that game with doing stewarding, working at that game still. So
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, nice. I saw the Newcastle game as well. I saw that one as well. I was at that one Newcastle game.
That was a mad game. That was that.
Mad game. Listen, guys, you can find me at Anfield Uncle Rods. Okay, I've got a show tomorrow with John Sinclair TV. Wicked, nice one. John Sinclair TV. We're going to do like a preview of the Newcastle game on a Monday. So we're going to be talking about that. I'm with Wolf on Saturday, and I generally do sort of like match reactions, debates, and all sorts. So listen, Yeti, Andy, you're all welcome. Do you know what I mean? You're all welcome to my channel for that.
Thank you very much, Robert. Thank you.
It's all about having a good community where we can come and talk about football, have a laugh, light-hearted banter and all that. Do you know what I mean?
And a big up from a person who's quite close to me and Unks as well. Big up Naz. I don't know where he's been over the last
man.
Days, but I need to find that guy because I've expected him to see on JP's watch along last night and he never materialized. But there you go. I'll see.
It's still about because I was supposed to do a show with him tonight, but what is that? I postponed it at the last minute because that Arsenal game was interesting. You know what I mean? But like. He was supposed to be tonight, but Nas at the day. Yeah, big up Nas anyway, is because he's a guy that they like. When I started my channel, he helped me out a lot. He's a very lovely guy. Very lovely guy. So listen, that's where you can find me. But most of all, please, guys, everybody's watching. Please slap a like and subscribe to Wolfgang's channel because he's an amazing guy, man. Big up to you, blood. Big up to you. Love and respect, man. Good guy.
Brother Yeti, you want to big up your channel, sir?
Yeah, I mean, Anfield Rods will have to do a preview on my channel and yours when when we play against each other, so I can mud you, and we'll go into that. It's Long Ear Jetty's Cave. Big Forest fan, massive Forest fan.
It's in the channel comments. You can find it.
Loving everything that's going on at the moment. We'll see how it goes in the future. And yeah, big up to Wolfie for having me on as well, and also Andrew Bell. Big up to him, and you know, and I'm hoping, obviously, to get a watch along if I can get Hot Fuzz onto the watch along if he's not busy, and you know, that would be awesome to have Hot Fuzz on my channel as well. So make sure you sub to Hot Fuzz, cracking Man United supporter.
Shame you weren't here, actually.
Yeah, hopefully I can get him on my watch along because it'd be interesting going, oh, yeah, what do you make of that, mate? Yeah, there you go. Long Age Yeti's Cave, big up to everybody, and catch you later.
Yeah, I'm just quickly following up on what Yeti said. Just if you haven't, there's his channel link in the description or in the comments right now. Big Bada Bing Bada Boom. That is my guy right there.
Thank you, man.
Big up to that. That is my guy right there, Fuzzy.
100%.
That is my bro. 100%. Big up, man. Big up. But yeah, I'd like to say quick thank you to everybody. I'd like to thank, obviously, Uncle Rods. I'd like to thank Yeti. Obviously, Early Doors, he was here. Tony E, as I've become to know him as. Obviously, big up to Strasbourg Steve as well, coming on the channel. Big up to this crazy Joddy bastard down here as well, because he always shows me love, and he's always, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have done this show actually, because he was like, I've got something to say, mate. Come on, let me get on and say me a bit. So I was like, yeah, all right, fair enough. He twisted me arm, and here he is.
Do you know when you've just been stuck with a family for 4 days solid, and you just want to have some actual conversation about something you're interested in, other than wrapping paper or cardboard? I was just like, oh, we've had some football. Let's have a chat about it. Why not? And I'm booked up with tablets, so apologies. I've got a sore throat. So
no, I think we've all had a sore throat. So was that really do a show, Wolfie, or was that a cry for help?
I think it was just a cry for help. If I'm honest, it must be a sensory need or something. I must have just needed to speak a load of shite on YouTube with a load of different people. I mean, half the time I'll say what I'm thinking, and then 10 minutes later I'll go, nah, shit, that's not what I was trying to say.
That's pretty much all right.
We're all friendly, so it's all right. Hopefully, I don't get too much shit in the comments, but I'm sure someone will find this rather amusing.
I'll tell you what, if someone was to try and come for you in the chat, half the other part of the chat would lynch them.
I'm all up for a bit of banter. If I say something daft, please tell us. But as long as it's factual on football, rather than me just being a tit.
Well, you ain't got a channel, so I had to bant you a little bit, didn't you? So.
No. I think it's a long way on the thing. It's something I would really be interested, but I'll do it on a casual level. I've got no aspirations of making any money. Anyway, I just want to sit and chat with people like yourselves, and I've got no interest in any of that. It's keeping it a little bit private, and people that you connect with off the camera as well. You know, we can all drop each other a message at times. You know, I've spoken to you before, I've spoken to yourself before, Tony, Steve, messaging. We're a community, and we all wish each other well, and it's so nice that everyone spends a few seconds towards everybody and tries to help everybody else out. It's a great community to be part of. I've seen other parts of YouTube which is exactly the opposite, and it's not something I would want to be a part of, and this is why I like coming on channels like this. It's all good.
Listen, you're welcome on my channel anytime. We just hit me up.
Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah, I'm on as well.
I'll get you on my channel, and we can have a chat and all that.
I promise I'll not be on this much cough medicine.
Yes, thanks. What's up?
Can you put things links in there? Early Doors. Can you put his link in there now for us? So
yeah, sure. It should be there already, Unks. Scroll up. Hang on.
I can't see it, you know. I can see Hot Fuzz.
I think he put it on.
No, we've actually had quite a lot of chat. Oh yeah, I'll just find it. Hang on 1 second. Let me just
put it in again.
Put it back in there 1 second, because we've had quite a busy chat today actually. So it would be
nice to know people and getting involved. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't do it. We would still do it, but it wouldn't get the same interactions, because some of the times the best conversations are always based on the comments that you're getting. I've always said that. I'm a big believer in getting the comments up and talking about the comments.
Yeah, I just subscribe.
I just like like-minded people.
Yeah, it's great. I love being able to disagree with someone and have a chat of why you could be right and why I can be right and not fall out.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a conversation
absolutely.
as opposed to an argument.
Yeah.
That's the
That's what it's all
difference.
about, you know, because the thing is about it, and we're all adults here. Do you know what I mean? Whether
Yeah.
whether we're young adults or old adults, we're all adults here in the fitness. So
Yeah.
we should be able to talk about football and agree to disagree in a polite
I
manner.
mean, we might not agree with each other, but we're not going to fall out about it. I think
exactly,
a lot of that's dead in modern society, and it's great that we can, we can do it on camera, and we might have a joke about it over text message even after a video and carry on the joke for a couple of days. But it never gets in the way of the best thoughts for each other and a bit of football banter in it. That's all it is.
No, it's all good. It's all good. All good.
You know what? On that note, because he said it so beautifully at the end, I'll say, everyone, stay God bless. Good night. And thanks to my guests for coming on. Stay safe, and we are out.
Peace.